FPL Gameweek 26. Who are the best forwards looking ahead, taking into mind Game Week 31 blank and possibly wildcarding in the future? This is the FPL Force. Now let's get into it. Now, for this one, I want to start off on this XG stats tables at both attack and defense. And reason being is it's going to give us a good idea as to which is the best team currently right now in terms of scoring goals and which are the teams right now who are just heavily conceding. So I like to look at, of course, in this case where we have three forwards, the top three, take in mind top five if you want to as well. And then, of course, looking at the bottom five, just hoping that the best players, of course, are facing off against those teams which are just letting in goals. And I think right off the bat, of course, we all know Chelsea at the moment is really firing at the top. Manchester City is there at number 2, although they have been dropping a little bit. You can see they're red in the attacking table. Arsenal there. I'm not really interested in a lot of attacking Arsenal forwards. It's just, nah. I feel like the goals are just too spread out there. So Chelsea definitely has an option there with João Pedro, and Man City, of course. Haaland hasn't necessarily been firing, but it's Haaland, man. What can we say? Man United, Šeško, I think, has been running under the radar. But he's definitely somebody you can consider if you're looking for a differential, of course. Then at number 5 there, we do have Liverpool, who will be playing Tottenham, who's just outside the bottom 5 when it comes to defense. But these guys have been conceding. As you can see, XG there's 2.3, and you can see they've been dropping down and dropping down. I think that's 19th at the moment. So that's very much like, yo, dude, yeah, they might as well just be bottom in terms of conceding goals. So you got a top 5 against a bottom in terms of those XGC. Conceding Tottenham. So another one is Haaland, of course, against West Ham. Thiago there, who's at number 6 in the attack. He's facing off a bottom 5, which is Wolves. So another player definitely to look out and consider. This being said, now we know who's in the top in terms of attack and teams who are on the bottom in terms of defense. Let's go ahead and look at who the FPL Force has picked as the top 3 forward transfers to go into this next game week. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying that piece of content, please hit that subscribe button. It really goes a long way in supporting me and growing the channel. Just for that, I decided to give you 50% off the FPL Force app. Just make sure that your YouTube is set public, and I have put instructions in the FPL Force's profile settings underneath the subscription tab, so you can make sure you see how to set your YouTube on public, and we can validate that as well, so you can get your 50%. Now, let's get back to the video. All right, now let's take a look at the player predicted points. Another one that is on the FPL Force app, another section on the FPL Force app, the command center. You can get this where you can pick whether it's midfields, forwards, defenders, and of course it will give you a list of the actual players in that position looking ahead the next 6 game weeks. They predicted points for each and every single game week, of course tallying it up as well. Remember, you can get the FPL Force app in by using the link in the description. Cool. So let us take a look at who we're actually thinking of. I think the top strikers this game week, you can see in form when it comes to the next 6 game weeks. Of course, João Pedro's there. Haaland is still there despite the blank in game week 31, which I think we somewhat secure now considering they beat Newcastle, so they definitely should be blanking. He's the one that's just not looking appealing, considering just on the other side of that West Ham game, on both sides, you've got the Real Madrid fixture. So I think if you have him, keep him, in my opinion. just because it's Haaland, he can do anything, and you honestly, you just never know. I would rather have him in that fixture than not to have him. I think João Pedro having Newcastle, he's really shown recently to be somewhat fixture proof, but that Newcastle game could be tough for them. Newcastle as well on either side of them have a tough FPL Champions League ties along with Chelsea as well. So rotation could be a lot there. So I just feel like rather have the penalty taking man who has an easier fixture, which is Haaland, than João Pedro. For those of you who are thinking to bring in João Pedro, that's just me answering that question. Ekitike, no brainer if you want to bring him in. I think he's still a good shot along with Thiago, considering the fixtures. Not having a blank. Is Cisco right there, the man in form, right underneath everybody else that we've just been mentioning? And I said like he's running under the radar, having scored, but I think he didn't score in this previous game week. The previous one, he scored like 3 game weeks in a row. So somebody definitely to consider. Danny Welbeck, Brighton's fixtures look good from game week 30 all the way to game week 38. So he's more like a wild card consideration for Strike Force, but I wouldn't go there just in the fact that, minutes is not necessarily secure. I would go to Calvert-Lewin because Leeds is also another team looking at the fixture ticker. They are at the top when you put them at game week 30 to game week 38. And then Bowen, tough fixtures all around. But it's Bowen, you can see there with these predicted points, I think are very reasonable. Like if they were to score, definitely he's the man to be getting that goal share. So who has the FPL Force picked for the top strikers for game week 30? Of course, number 1, João Pedro is the man, of course. Number 2, Ekitike. Number 3, Thiago. Now, it makes sense because if you don't have Haaland, don't bring him in, of course. If you're going to bring in a striker, I would bring in João Pedro. 2, number Ekitike, because fixtures and look, I'll admit I have thought about him being prone to rotation. But I think Liverpool, as much as they also want to get the Champions League, they need him in the league as well. They need him in the league as well. He rested in the FA Cup match, which made sense. But I think he has to play the league and the Champions League. And I know they need to risk management, whatever, but maybe take him off when the game is done. When they feel like they can cope, they can handle it. But they have to be starting him. And that's just what I feel, because they don't have Champions League places right now and they need those Champions League places. That's why I've got him there at number 2. Thiago, number 3, only because he hasn't necessarily been firing as much as those guys. And most of us have Thiago anyway. It's just really just formality in the sense of like, look, for this game week, these are the top 3 outside of Haaland, who we already have, which I was saying the FPL Force is saying, if you have him, keep him. If you don't have him, don't bring him in. Relax, bring somebody in. So yeah, that for me is the top board transfers for this game week. Did I mention I'm growing a community which I would love for you to be part of? And all you need to do is just sign up for a paid membership on the FPL Force app, which you can get 50% off of if you are subscribed to the channel. Would love to chat to you guys before, during, and after the actual game weeks. And I can also get in your questions, which I can answer to you right here on the actual channel. So please make sure you do that. Make sure your YouTube is set public. I have put the instructions to do that in the profile settings underneath the subscription tab. So please, would really love to see you guys in the community and chat with you guys as well. Now, let's get back to the video. Now, remember, you can get the FPL Force in the link in the description, using the link in the description. If you are wondering and want to play your free hit, which I would not advise, or if you're wondering what a wild card looks like for Game Week 30, then you can check out this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.